Hey, what's up, everybody? Just got a few minutes to kind of broadcast. Got someone coming by to get a screen replaced on a phone. So while I'm doing that, I'm just taking a quick look at this 2012 MacBook Pro. No power. Individuals asking about what could they do to get the data off it. I said, well, I can probably fix it, and then you can just get the data yourself. So just start off pretty simple. Just going to see if it actually does anything when you plug it in. And once we hook up the charger, we get no little light, no green light, no orange light. Not doing a thing. I got my voltage supply up there, shows nothing coming off, no amperage draw, so nothing at all. So I kind of got an idea, since I've been pretty familiar with working on these in the past, most likely what it is, or the area at least. So I'm gonna pop this cover off and take a look at what board we got inside here. Grab a magnet. Realize when you start doing online streaming that you have a tendency, because you haven't quite built your own online personality yet, so you kind of do this sound like an idiot. But what do you want? I've only streamed a few times. I don't really have much other history on it. I didn't get too much detail. Most of these have been sitting in somebody's closet. 2012. I mean, it's 6 years old, but believe it or not, it's still a really good usable machine. I have one myself, and my wife uses one, and you put a solid state hard drive in them and they work really well. Boom. So for starters, looks like we got a little bit of liquid damage. And let's see if I can get the scope on it to show you guys, because I don't think you'll be able to see too much here. Focus best I can, but you can see here obviously all the wonderful corrosion and blueness. So really, it's going to take me a little time to determine what, if any of this is going to have anything to do with it. But this little chip here deals with the charging and stuff on the battery. But we have no light, and that means it's system one wire is the circuit we're going to be looking at. I'm just looking under here for a little obvious corrosion. In the areas I would suspect are ironically not. I don't know what the hell. Yeah, that's part of the battery. Little plastic that. So weird that it was stuck on that thing. A lot of times this cracks right down there. Breaks off. So let's throw the let's see what board this is. It's an 820-3115A. Very familiar with this board. It's the one I think that's in mine. Also worked on quite a few of them. So I got some scrap boards here, so hopefully I can pull some parts off that if needed. But let's take a look, show you guys what we got. pretty nasty. Have to find out what all those are. I'd like to say just about anything's repairable. Just depends on how much. So let me get that into focus for you guys. Most of the time, you know, I hop in these, I take a look and see what kind of corrosive damage we got. That bad boy is toast. You see that one? Where is it? Look at that guy. I got enough light on that. But that's the one. Sucker's burned right up. Most of this stuff might have to do with the USB ports and things, but I gotta look up the circuit board and find out for sure. Wow. I don't think I've ever seen test points balled up like that before. Whatever that is. So the biggest thing with this type of stuff is the corrosion will get right underneath it. Like this right here is a via. You can see. Let's see if I can show you that. Staying in focus is not that easy. When you're zoomed in, it's like it changes every time. So that is what they call a via. Usually the ones with the holes means it's like a little tube. It goes right through the other side of the board. Doesn't look like it ate the shit out of it, but this one. So got a good amount of corrosion all over the place. That's annoying. Nothing really up here at the LCD connector, which is always good. That looks alright. None up here. This is usually where you see the corrosion because the liquid gets right in the back. It looks like the majority of it is all on that little side there. Amazing how much dirt and hair gets inside these things. Hi. I'm broadcasting for a minute, just so you know. How's it going? I'm just showing everybody. I got a MacBook to work on, and it's got lots of corrosion. Lots of little burned out spots. Oof. All over the place. This one's bad. So the question is does this go anywhere? Ooh, that one's even worse. That one's practically gone. So the first thing I'm going to figure out is the power coming in off of the charger. So I'm going to have to check the main power rails. That's where I'm going to start off, check to see if we got any of the main power rails coming in. Kind of go one by one and eliminate those. Once I get those situated and I get the light coming onto the charger, then we kind of go to the next stage and go from there. I don't have a lot of time to broadcast all that, so I'm going to kind of do that behind the scenes, probably take this out, clean it too, and then I'll probably make a follow-up video once I get some progress going. But just a quick show you what I'm doing. Everyone, just have a good night. Maybe I'll give it a couple more minutes. I'm just curious what some of these are actually for here, so let's take a look. Just kind of give you guys an idea. This is a board view. This is basically all the entire layout of the board, every chip, every capacitor, every resistor, every diode that's on here. Has a label, tells you what it is. It's needed if you don't know these things. If you're going to actually replace these little components that are bad or corroded, whatever, you're not going to get anywhere. you certainly can do it kind of an easy way. You find boards from China typically that are usually stolen for their chips, but they leave all the other stuff, most of the non-main components. This is not the same board, but some of the stuff might be usable. But you get the idea. You know, you find a couple of these, and a small box of them, and you can just kind of take the parts off of those and put them onto the next one and crush fingers. A lot of times that's all you got to do without really knowing much about circuits. And I'm still even learning about circuits. But so just kind of take an example of the way the software works. If you take a look, you know, just visually about where we are, and we're looking at this long chip here. Let's take a look under the scope. Do I got you there? Let's see which way I can do this. That chip. You can right click it, give it a little search on the PDF file. U9390 MUX. Yeah, it usually deals with display, I know that. And I got it right below it. Just kind of showing you how things navigate. All things I'm not too concerned about right now. What I really want to make sure about is the power rails. Not 100% sure where that one is. There we go. So I gotta take the board out because I have to check my DC in, make sure I'm actually getting power coming in. Check it at the fuse, check the fuse. Simple stuff. This is basically the one wire circuit. This is what's going to start supplying power to the board. Without that, I've got nothing, so I got to diagnose that first. Once I get that going, a lot of this stuff will be after the fact, and like I said, most of this I think is going to be dealing with a lot of the USB port stuff over here that's corroded, so it's not essential as far as powering the unit up. So that's where I'm first going to start. And I know the fuse is on the other side, but where else can I grab that? Let's see where this guy is. 691, 6901. So I can kind of do a quick test here just to see if I have any DC voltage coming in, which I'm going to say I don't because my light's not on. Need is this PP3V42, so that's 3 volt 42, 3.42 volts that I should be seeing on pin 5 of this U6901, and that's needed before anything else, so that's where I'll look just real quick. That's going to be right next to that guy. Pin 5. It's going to be the top left. Let me get back here. Right there. And I got nothing, which I already knew. Alright, so let me get this board out. I got to get under the other side of it and check a couple things there. And then I'll follow up, do a follow-up video after. Have a good night.